What's up, everybody, man? It's yours truly, Chris, back at it again, man, here with That Square Sports, man. We talking about college football before these games start later on in the day, man. We just want to get a quick preview, look at them, see how things go. And then after that, should do a video today with the NFL Week 3 matchups, and we'll do some FanDuel as well. So 2 more videos coming on the way after this one. Anyways, hey, man, thank you guys for all watching. I want you to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe at the end of the video, man, and let's dive in. It's week 4 in college football, man. I'm looking at Villanova versus Penn State. Penn State should win this game. It should be easy, right? Next up is Wisconsin versus Notre Dame. Wisconsin at Notre Dame. I actually like this a lot. I want to see Wisconsin win this game. For the simple fact of the matter is I think that a lot of people are talking down on Wisconsin because they can't throw the ball. They just can't really, play beyond the markers. So this is one of those games where I think that Wisconsin is going to prove pretty much the whole college football world that were wrong about week 1 in Penn State that lost. But next up, Georgia versus Vandy. I expect Georgia to kill Vandy, man. I don't really expect them to be much of a game. Also, if you're scouting, though, for NFL, there's a good running back for the Vanderbilt football team, the Commodores, whatever you want to call them. They're really trash, to be honest with you. They shouldn't even be in the SEC, but hey, it is what it is. UMass versus Coastal Carolina. Come on now, really. Coastal should win this game. Next up is Iowa State versus Baylor. Now, this is actually going to be a really fun matchup today, too, as well. Prudy gets, after watching them play against UNLV last week, especially on the West Coast, I had them losing to UNLV. And if you watch UNLV last night, they played against Fresno, and they put up a heck of a fight. If that quarterback doesn't go down for UNLV, pretty sure they win that game against Fresno because they were up 21. I think it was 9-21. If I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, back to the matter at hand. Baylor, they just can't put up enough points for me. I think Iowa State's defense is going to stop them real quick. So it's later in the day. Those folks down there in Waco that had their fun, they're not really worried about the game pretty much anymore. Next up, A&M versus the good old Arkansas Razorbacks. Good old-fashioned South rivalry right here, man. I want to see A&M win this game. But my heart is telling me that Arkansas is here for the upset in Jerry's world. So, as much as I love them Aggies, I think they're going to lose today. But I want to see them win. I want to see Isaiah Spiller play a heck of a game. That backup quarterback, because King's out for the season. So they've got to ball out. This is a true SEC test right here. It only gets harder as the schedule keeps going, right? Because next up, LSU, after that, Bama, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. It's just not going to get any easier than this Arkansas win. So to win today would be a very good pivotal thing for the school down there at A&M. Next up is Colorado versus Iowa. Iowa should win this game against Colorado State. It's not going to be much of a game. However, I will say this. Iowa struggles offensively against Colorado State. Only for the simple fact is because Colorado State has been pretty good athletes, man. I've been watching a couple of their games, especially their Mountain West time. I'm in the East Coast now, so it's a bit of a struggle to stay afloat, right? Next up is Rutgers and Michigan. Battle of the Unbeatens. Quiet as it's kept, man. Hey, Harbaugh's doing something down there. Y'all better beware. Harbaugh is doing something down there, man, up in Michigan. So, looking at this game, I think that Michigan should win this over Rutgers. Rutgers going to definitely put up a fight. It's going to be something to watch. I'll tell you that right now. But Michigan should win this game at least by 2 touchdowns. It'll be a little sluggish at first because they're actually playing some real comp. So, we'll just want to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rutgers pulls off the upset in Ann Arbor. I would not be surprised. Next up, Clemson versus North Carolina State. North Carolina State, actually, believe it or not, can surprise you. The Wolfpack might do something dangerous today. They might actually beat Clemson, but they'll be at home, so they have a bit of an advantage there. And on top of that, Ukulele just really hasn't surprised us. Ross hasn't become the big guy with the story that he's had. Shipley, however, our running back, was pretty good last week against Georgia Tech. Just, I think that the way we're looking at it in the direction that we're playing, that Clemson is playing, it's a lot of hit or miss with this season. And I don't think they're the top dogs in the ACC this year. But then again, the ACC is not really that much of a strong conference. I think Maryland's probably the second best team in the ACC, if we're being honest, right? So, with that being said, looking on the outside, telling you straight up, I think North Carolina State comes up with the upset today against Clemson. Georgia State versus Auburn. Auburn wins this game. I don't even know why we're talking about it. Bigsby and all them boys and Bo Nix can come back after losing to Penn State. They should win this game. UCLA and Stanford. UCLA should win this game, but don't get it twisted. Stanford's going to put up a fight as always, as they do. It's later on in the day. I think that if you look at the two teams, are equally matched deep down inside, to be honest with you. But should be fun. You know, I got UCLA winning anyways. Next up, Nebraska, Michigan State. This is probably a bigger game than most people would expect. Pretty much the whole night slate outside of the UNC, Georgia Tech, and Southern Miss and Alabama game. These next three games I'm about to talk about are pretty good. So Nebraska and Michigan State, this should be fun, man. Watching Martinez go against Walker. It's going to be a lot of running the ball in this game. It's going to be a lot of big holes, gaps, linebackers getting tackles. It's going to be a dogfight, man. I think this is going to be pretty fairly high scoring. We're looking at around the range of maybe like 33, 35. Just for the simple fact that the coordinators are just going to dial up some good plays, but his players going to be out of position, over the top. I think Michigan State, once they realize that Reed is actually a decent receiver, they probably could do some things, outside of the backfield with him, like just catching the ball, deep ball, slants, post routes, whatever. Get him more involved in the offense for them. As Nebraska, they really don't have much but Martinez. But have you seen him in the Oklahoma game? Literally, it was him versus OU, and he was literally killing them. So it's a good way to look at it. But I got Michigan State winning because they're just a more completed team. Next up is Kansas State versus Oklahoma State. I am high on the quarterback from Oklahoma State. It's just the problem is the line cannot block for Oklahoma State. I think that Kansas State comes in there and they just do their thing against OSU. But I do believe in the Cowboys. I think if they manage to block better, the Cowboys could win this game. They are also 3-0, but I just think that Kansas State is more completed. They play more teams that were more harder to beat, especially the impressive win against Stanford. And I don't think that Oklahoma State can manage. So, Mike Gundy's going to say some things because best coach of college football when it comes to talking smack, Mike Gundy. Florida, Tennessee. Are you serious? Are you serious? Go Gators. End of discussion. Tennessee, man, they ain't got no chance, bro. They ain't got no chance, man. They've been playing some scrubs like Bowling Green and I think it was Cal another week. They ain't played nobody, man. Gators finna go through and take care of business, man. Especially after seeing how the Gators held up against Alabama last week. Yeah, that says a lot about, the Gators. And I think that they will see Alabama again. I think that they will see Alabama again next week. In the SEC championship game. I do believe that will happen. I think that they're the best team in the East, SEC East. Looking at them, how they matched up against Bama, they didn't do bad. UNC, Georgia Tech, like I said, not much of a game. UNC should win this. House should have another amazing performance because, like, what he did against Virginia Tech last week was just him and Downing man, they just murdered everybody in their secondary. So I don't see Georgia Tech having as near enough talent as they did against Virginia. Next up is Southern Miss versus Alabama. Come on now. Bama plays somebody hard and they play somebody weak. So, yeah, probably 60, 100-point spread. That's what we're going with. West Virginia versus Oklahoma. Now, 10 years ago, not even that. 10 years ago, that's 2011. We'll say about maybe 17 years ago, in the early 2000s, this might have been a game. But today, Spencer Rattler should have a great performance. However, something about Oklahoma's defense is just tragic. I don't know what the case is, what it may be, but Oklahoma just does not seem to have that figure on the defensive side of the ball. Offense is fine. Spencer Rattler turns the ball over too much. I think he's overrated, but that's just my opinion. But looking at this, don't be surprised if Dodge and the boys from West Virginia come up there and they put up points. Do not be surprised at all. I think that it's possible that West Virginia could definitely be in it. But at the same time, I don't think that they have the manpower to keep going all four quarters. So they'll pull away in the fourth for Oklahoma. Next up is Akron versus Ohio State. Whoever they choose to go with quarterback today for Ohio State, they should do fairly decent. This is a good warm-up game to see where they stand at quarterback. Of course, Ohio State's going to win this game, yeah. But it's really just trying to find out who is Ohio State. You struggle against Oregon, and you don't really, get past Tulsa. It kind of makes you say to yourself, who is Ohio State, right? So That's kind of one of those things, and they're like, anticipated to be the top dog of the Big Ten. And I'm looking around, and I don't really see much of a bite from these guys. So it's one of these games where, it's going to be sloppy at first. It's not going to be perfect. It's really more like a scrimmage game than it is an actual game for these guys. So, like I said, Ohio State wins this game, but it's not in pretty fashion. South Florida versus BYU. BYU should win this game. I wouldn't be surprised if South Florida puts up a fight in the first half, but after that, I think BYU is just too talented, they've played some competition that has made me say to myself, I have to start respecting these schools of religion now. I have to. Because, I respect all schools of religion, yes. I'm just saying, when it comes to a football aspect, these guys finally can, come out and play pretty well. Back then, it wasn't always like that, Arizona, Oregon, once again, seeing these two guys play, Arizona just doesn't have the manpower to keep up with Oregon. Oregon should dominate. And that will be your week 4 of college football matchups. Later on today, I should have a FanDuel lineup for the NFL. I actually kind of like this week. It's kind of fun. A lot of sleeper pick guys that I like. And then after that, we'll do some NFL week 3 matchups. Should be really fun to watch, man. I'm a Texans fan, so I didn't really want to call that game on Thursday night. But hey, the Texans lost. It is what it is. Got to move on with life. All right, y'all. Hey, man, please leave a like. Drop some comments if you agree or disagree. And we out. Peace.